Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be explaining a couple of things about using Claude Code, since a lot of people have been using Claude Code on YouTube and on internet recently, and a lot of people are using it different ways. I'm currently using it for my day-to-day tasks, basically to help me with being more productive. Using this as a good form of leverage to complete my day-to-day tasks. And so yeah, what I will, what I'll be showing you today is using Claude Code to generate leads. This method has helped me a lot with basically generating about 15 to 20,000 or sometimes 25,000 leads, basically without me interfering, without me checking on it, like seeing if everything is okay or not. So this is one of the ways that I actually use Claude Code to help me leverage my time and basically with my day-to-day tasks. So basically what I'll be showing you today is a Claude Code best practices, and the second one, which is scraping from Google Maps using Selenium. And one of the ways that we can use Claude Code is to be as detailed as possible on what to extract. Basically what I would usually do is I would come up with a rough idea of what I actually want. The goal is, the plan has to be pretty much very comprehensive. I try to be as detailed as possible in the plan, and then what I'll usually do is I would write out a plan on ChatGPT, and then once I've done that, I will get all of that. I will get ChatGPT to rewrite me a more comprehensive version of the instruction or on the planning itself. And from there I will be getting ChatGPT to expand on it as well. And basically that and what I usually do, what are my common practices is that I try to be as detailed as possible. I try to be as comprehensive as possible in my plan itself. So like, what are you trying to achieve? Who are you trying to target? Can you give me a list of filters that I actually want to that we can actually use? For example, if I'm targeting physiotherapy clinics, so which city in Australia that you are targeting? Basically all of that. It doesn't have to be Australia, but I'm just giving you as an example. And also things like, what would you want, what type of filters do you what type of additional filters do you actually want for your leads, like the reviews. Do you want, like, usually businesses that has consistent reviews on Google are usually businesses that are usually clinics that are busier, and they tend to have more clients, and they would be more open in using AI and automations in that sense. So what I would usually do is I would get like ChatGPT to create me the comprehensive prompting, and then I'll get all of that and paste it in Claude Code. So I'll be showing you all of that in a bit, but yeah. And also how I'll be using, and also I will be using Modal to run basically the workflows. This is to ensure that it has zero laptop load on my laptop, so it frees up my machine, so that my laptop is able to run as per normal. I can still use it to work, and at the same time it's able to run like 15,000 or 20,000 scripts in the background while using Modal. And usually what I'll do is it will run in parallel, 5 cities, etc. And it will usually cost you probably about $2 to $8, but it totally depends. So yeah, what I usually come up with is, I would typically start with fear. For example, if I'm trying to target dental clinics, what I would usually suggest is having like a rough understanding of who are you targeting, where are you targeting, which countries are you targeting, and basically all of that. So for example, right now I'm trying to target dental clinics in for example in UK. I need you to help me write a comprehensive and detailed, I think comprehensive and detailed is the same, comprehensive plan for Claude Code for my Google Map scraping project. I'm targeting dental clinics that has probably like 20 to 100 reviews. Has 20 to 100 reviews. Has a review last review 3 months ago. What else? Search for bad reviews. I need. So from here, this is a very rough one that I would usually use. Just a brief explanation what I usually need. I'm not really good at writing down a comprehensive instruction. But what I would usually do is I would say something like this, and I would get ChatGPT to expand on it. And then this is where ChatGPT will be able to help me with creating a more comprehensive, a more detailed plan and instruction based on whatever I just said. So as you can see, this is basically what these are all the filters that ChatGPT came out with. And what I'll do right now is ChatGPT will be giving me in a full markdown box format. This is also one of the tips that you can just edit in your GPT, telling them to always output in a full markdown format, so that you are able to use this and just copy and just paste it in Claude Code. So this is how you'll be getting. As you can see, sometimes you don't really need all of this. You don't really need the JSON. You don't really need basically all of this. You don't really need this. So what I will usually do is I will just copy here, filter rules, very not recommend, and here copy, and I'll paste it here. As you can see, I've actually done this. So I'll just tell Claude Code to do something. Like I'll just tell him as an example, I am creating a YouTube demo. So .tmp file means temporary file, and basically just press enter, and it will start doing its thing. So it will basically create a .tmp file, and you'll save all of this in a .tmp file, which is a temporary file. As you can see, these are all of the research or scraping jobs that I did using Claude Code itself. Oh yeah, sorry. So one more thing, what I usually do is I would change this to the plan mode, so that it's better for them to, instead of just executing the workflow, it will be able to create a detailed plan, and then from there you can be able to reiterate and make changes to it, so that you kind of know like what works and what doesn't. This is one of the most important parts as well in building a scraper. You need to plan it first before even executing the workflow. So yeah, it will take a while for this. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys in a bit. So as you can see here, it's still planning. Oh, sorry, I think I accidentally pressed something. Please continue. So you'll see something like tool interrupted when I accidentally press something. I'm not really sure what I pressed, but yeah, you can just, if that thing happen, you can just tell it to continue, and it will continue automatically. And yeah, so what you can do is this is where they will be asking you like accept this plan, and you will just have to do a quick review. But what I usually do is I will say like no, keep planning. I need you to ask me questions if you have any concerns or you need additional. So this is something that I would usually practice. I would get them to ask me questions, because they would usually ask me because from what I understand, Claude Code is way better in building this kind of things, and they would usually ask me questions that sometimes that I might not be able to foresee, and this is a very good way of getting them to ask you questions and not waste time going back and forth, and spending on your credits. This is where you're able to get them to ask you questions, and you validate it, make things better, tighten things, tighten your plans, and it will be able to give you a better output at the end of it. So like what I said from the beginning, having a very solid plan and instructions in the beginning is the fundamentals of having a great output from Claude Code. So this is one of the ways that you can reiterate, make things better, make changes. What do you want next? What do you usually want? So what I would usually do is I would just visualize of how am I gonna script leads if I were to do it manually. So what I would do, I would create filters, search for the countries, what countries am I gonna target, what industry, what niche am I gonna target. And then once I've done all of that, I will the traditional way is using going into Google Maps, searching for the countries, and then searching for dental clinics in that country, and then we're going to filter it according to which town that we are targeting, and then take the link and paste it in Appify, and getting Appify to scrape all of that data. So I would kind of visualize the same way, but writing it down writing it down, and basically how I usually see it as me explaining the steps to a person who doesn't know anything, and try to be as detailed as possible. And that's where you are able to be you'll be able to get a better output from just spending a bit more time in your plans and your plans and your and basically spending a bit more time in your plans, and that's where you will be getting a better output for this. So this is where I'll usually ask, I forgot to mention that I would usually use this in the first prompting. So my first your prompting has to be super strong. So this is where you just gonna see it how I'm just gonna run you through, so you have a clear understanding of what to expect if you're basically doing this on your end. So it will be asking you a couple of questions. Should the scraper run locally with Selenium, or do you want a modal cloud version? So this is where you can choose to use modal or locally. I'll choose both local and modal just because this is just a YouTube demo that I'm showing you. And how should we handle the gap if cities do not handle yet 1,000 leads? Typically about 50 cities. Auto expand cities, add search terms. So this is where you can these are all of the things that they will be able to foresee if you're asking it for 1,000 leads in the UK itself. So this is where they'll be asking you a couple of questions, and so this is where you will be able to use your critical thinking to make decisions. One the script will run in a headed mode. Yes, this is what I want. Where should you find out about just on Google Sheets? So what I would usually do is I would usually get them to once everything is finished, the lead has been scraped, I'll get Claude Code to present it to me in a Google Sheet, so that I'll be able to just look at it as per normal, like how we would usually do for our lead scraping. So yeah, that's basically it. So now it's churning, it's thinking, it's doing its thing. You don't really have to do anything for this. So right now it's asking me to review the plan above and decide whether to proceed. So you can go into detail in just reading everything, or you can just trust them and just say yes and auto accept. Then once that is done, what I would usually do is I would change the plan mode to bypass permission. So bypass permission is where Claude Code don't really have to ask you for permissions, ask you for permissions if they want to do some editings and stuff like that. They will just be doing the thing at the back end and just let you know when everything is finished, everything is completed, and from there you can just review and see that, okay, I think I need this, I need to make adjustments to this, I need to make adjustments to that. That's where you are able to leverage Claude Code at the highest level. So while this is running at the background, so I'm just showing you an example of how Modal works. So Modal is a I actually don't know what it is actually, to be honest. It's a server where you can run, or you can create cron schedule jobs on Modal, something like GitHub if I'm not mistaken. So this is where you can schedule your runs on Upwork, or like what I'm usually doing. I usually schedule my runs on Upwork. I would usually run, if I'm doing like a big project, like I'm running like a big script system, I will push it to Modal, just because it's way easier. It's not going to be heavy on my machine or my computer, so it won't affect the performance of my computer, just by running systems at the background, like especially like lead scraping, because they're using like Selenium, which is like a headless browser where you can where they can they're gonna use a lot of memory and space in the computer. So that's that. And so right now it's doing like the update to-dos, creating the main modal, py, modal operation, and basically all of that. And let me see if it actually did a TMP file. No, I don't think it's doing a TMP file. I'm not too sure if it's doing a TMP file, but never mind, it's okay. So this is how it kind of looked like. All files created. Here's a summary, blah 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 blah. Only no personal output is company name, website URL, how to run test to cities. And usually what I would usually in my directives, what I would usually do in my, sorry, not in my directives, in my Cloud MD, what I would usually do is I would get them to, I would add things like, basically what the Cloud MD is basically like an overall rule of what the cloud agent is supposed to be doing. What are the steps, what are the SOPs that the Claude Code agent is supposed to be doing, what it can do, what it cannot do. Getting things like what are the steps if they were to like scrape platforms like Trustpilot, script platforms like Apollo, script platforms like LinkedIn job posts, so on and so forth. So that's one of the ways that you can get consistent results just by implementing a very good Claude MD, which is basically your SOP. You're telling Claude what it can do, what it must always do, what it never does, and then so on and so forth. So I'll explain that more on a couple of videos on the next video, but this is just an example. I just want to share with you about how powerful Claude Code is, because it has helped me a lot, and I'm pretty sure that if you guys are looking at doing lead scraping, this would help you guys a lot as well, because lead scraping, a lot of people are just using Apollo, and there's a upfront, there's a cost to it. So what you would usually do is I try to keep my cost as low as possible, so that I'll be able to get a better yield out of it. I'm not really sure if that makes sense, but yeah. So I would usually get them to test like 2 cities headed, no sheets, just to do a sample test, and then once everything is okay, I will get them to run the full project. I'll get them to do the full run. So what I would usually do is I would get them to, can you faster? So what I would do is I would just ask them to can you run faster? Can you run faster? And they will try to optimize the workflow and make it run even faster, from the previous run. So this is where I just reduced the number of leads from 1,000. I'm just gonna target 100 leads, 50 cities. This is just an example I'm showing you, so you would have a clear understanding of what it would take to scrape 1,000 leads, 10,000 leads, 20,000 leads. Yeah. So yeah, I'll get back to you once everything is completed. So I'm creating a YouTube video for this. So basically what I'll be saying is I'm creating a YouTube video. Store. So basically this is my prompt that I'll be using. You can just use ChatGPT for this. Super easy, super simple. Basically what you need to do is just tell exactly what you actually want, what output do you want, and then try to be as comprehensive and detailed as possible for this, so that you'll be able to get a better output from Claude Code itself. So basically here, this is my prompting. I'm just telling it, build me a Google Maps scraper, London dental clinics. All output must be saved in .tmp files, directory only. Do not reference any external or existing project files, just because I'm showing you as a demo for this. So what do you want to achieve from this? So basically data to extract is the business name, website URL, review count, ratings, and all review. I think I don't really need this. I don't really need the ratings as well. And then I think that's pretty much it. For keep only clinics with 20 reviews. What I can do is 20 reviews and above. Check review date should be that 60. Personal. So basically, I'm not gonna do 1,000. I'm just gonna do 50 just for demo purposes. So basically, so you just tell Claude Code what you actually want from here, and it will be able to basically do anything and explain to you, basically get you the desired outcome. So I think you just have to wait for a while. Oh sorry, I think there's so here it will be asking me a couple of questions. Allow this bash command. So what I would usually do is just give it a plan mode, instead of asking them to allowing them to automatically edit. Planning mode is way better for more specific tasks like this, like if you're trying to build scrapers, so on and so forth. So planning mode is the best way for you to be able to reiterate and make adjustments according to what you actually want. And the agent will also be prompting you a couple of questions that would optimize and make the workflow even better. So this is how it will look like. So you just have to basically wait, and so once the plan is completed, the agent will ask you to review the plan above and decide whether to proceed. So basically you just have to take a look at it, see if everything's okay. I would usually just say click on the auto accept, so it will be able to basically do the whole thing. Once you click accept, you can just change the method to bypass permissions. So now saying here that it's using headless prompt to work through 46 London search queries. Let me get back to you sometime, see how it's progressing. So basically you just have to wait right now. So while the agent is doing its thing, you can basically do other things. Probably you can start on writing your outreach, doing a bit of research for your target ICPs, looking at what are they actually facing on a day-to-day basis, what pain points are they actually facing, so on and so forth. So basically that's how we are able to leverage our time and try to be as productive as possible, since we have an agent that would be able to help us with this. And I'll get back to you when everything is done.